Welcome back to Stat Plus, where we enable you to have smarter conversations about global markets, policy shifts, and economic trends. The U.S. Federal Reserve, in its March FOMC meeting, maintained interest rates at the 4.25 to 4.5% range. However, the crucial detail that demands our attention isn't the unchanged rates, but rather the Fed's significantly reduced GDP growth projections for the next 3 years, uncharacteristically falling below the 2% threshold that has long served as a baseline for healthy U.S. economic expansion. The Fed's latest economic projections paint a sobering picture. U.S. GDP growth is expected to decelerate to just 1.7% in 2025, followed by sub-2% growth through 2027. This represents a stark decrease from the 2.8% growth achieved in 2024 and 2.9% in 2023. To put this in perspective, the U.S. economy has maintained growth consistently around the 2.5% range for well over a decade. Based on GDP data since 1961, the U.S. economy has never experienced 3 consecutive years with sub-2% growth. Yet now the Fed anticipates precisely this scenario through 2027. While U.S. markets have responded positively to the Fed's announcements, this optimism stems primarily from the maintained projection of 2 rate cuts this year, potentially totaling 50 basis points. This monetary easing would build upon the 100 basis points of cuts already implemented over the past 6 months, creating a more accommodative financial environment. Essentially, the market is interpreting bad news as good news that is lower interest rates and potentially fewer trade barriers. The key takeaway is that the decreased growth forecast is likely to discourage aggressive reciprocal tariffs from the U.S. government. Although U.S. inflation has cooled in recent months, imposing high tariffs would risk boosting consumer prices further, creating a dangerous combination of low growth and high inflation, a scenario known as stagflation. Stagflation is often a precursor to a prolonged economic downturn, and potentially even a recession. It wouldn't be right to consider positive market reactions as creating favorable conditions for aggressive trade reforms. Rather, markets are anticipating a more measured, cautious approach to U.S. trade policy given the challenging growth outlook ahead. What does this mean for Indian markets? Sectors that have established significant export relationships with the U.S. and demonstrated robust growth trajectories stand particularly well positioned. These include electronics, auto components, petroleum products, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and medical devices. The slowing U.S. growth, coupled with a potentially more cautious approach to trade restrictions, could create a more favorable environment for these Indian sectors to expand their U.S. market share. At StatPlus, our mission remains to equip you with insights so you can confidently have smarter conversations. Whether you're at work, school, the gym, or catching up with friends over coffee, we'd love to hear from you. Do you think the Fed's cautious outlook will ultimately benefit Indian exporters? Or will slowing U.S. growth pose greater risks than opportunities? Share your views in the comments below. If you found this analysis useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Stay informed, stay ahead. See you in the next video.